Welcome to the Kayak Fishing Obsessed Podcast. We'll be sitting down with a fresh guest each week. Someone who shares the same kayak fishing passion that runs through our veins. We're talking kayak anglers, kayak companies, lure experts. Heck, anyone who's got a story to tell about landing the big ones from a kayak. We're setting our sights on becoming the #1 kayak fishing podcast in the world. You'll get a chuckle, a grin, and hey, maybe even a belly laugh. Because we believe in the power of humor. But above all, we're here to educate and inspire. So, whether you're a seasoned kayak angler or just dipping your toes into this exhilarating world, join us on the Kayak Fishing Obsessed Podcast. It's time to reel in adventure, camaraderie, and the joy of the catch. Here's your host, Darren Windle.
What's up, you fish freaks? Welcome to episode number 143 of the Kayak Fishing Obsessed Podcast. Tonight, we're talking about the hottest bait in bass fishing right now, the Coike. And whether you call it the Coike, the prickly pear, or the generic, urchin-style bait, this thing is absolutely taking the fishing world by storm. And I'll be honest, I was skeptical at first. It looks weird. It doesn't look anything like anything I normally tie on. But then I went fishing with Wyatt, picked up a Coike, and within an hour caught my personal best bass last week, 23.25. And from that moment on, I became a believer. So tonight we're going to be bringing on Austin Hoover to help us break down everything Coike. We're talking about how to rig it, the best rod, the reel, the line setups, where to throw it, why bass seem to be crushing it, and whether this bait is just the latest craze or something that's going to be around for years to come. And if you've been curious about the Coike, thinking about trying one, or just want to understand what everyone else is talking about, you are in the right place. And before we get rolling, if you fish from a kayak, KFAS, Kayak Fishing Advanced Safety Training, should absolutely be on your radar. KFAS is all about helping kayak anglers stay safe on the water through education, training, and practical skills that could save your life. You can learn more and earn your certification today at kfast.co. All right, we're going to hop right into it. Austin, welcome to the show, brother.
What's up, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. It's been a good week for me because of this stupid thing and friends, right? The bait itself doesn't catch the bass. But my gosh, this has been a fun week. Wyatt and I actually fished last week together. Wyatt, break it down for us. We were down there at Santee, and it got canceled. Not entirely sure why. I know they said the weather, but I was there. The weather looked fantastic, right? I don't know what happened there. Not sure if we want to go down that rabbit hole, but how'd you do that? Because you fished the tournament.
Me, I did not do very well. I had a decent pattern going into it. I went out Thursday. I caught a 23 3/4 and 23 3/4, 21 and 2 19s within probably 30 minutes or so, and I was like, I gotta leave. And it was throwing the Coike on docks. And then I went there on Saturday and nothing. Nada. I don't know, this fish just all swam out into the lake or what was happening. I know the weather changed a little bit and it was a lot more overcast and drizzly, so they probably just kind of started roaming a little bit more. But yeah, I said I'm either going to catch 110 inches or I'm going to catch 3 fish, and I caught 4 fish.
Oh, there we go. So fishing that thing on the docks, I know you fish it with a treble hook. Yeah. That's a little risky business.
Yeah, I mean, it skips pretty well, actually. It took me a little bit to kind of get used to it, but it skips. You can skip it about 20 feet or so.
Okay.
It doesn't slide like a jig, but it actually bounces across the water a little bit.
Does it bounce or just kind of start rolling on top of the water?
If you don't hit it across the water, if you try and slide it like a jig, it'll roll and it'll go like 2 feet. But if you throw it kind of down and let it skip off the water, it'll actually bounce and kind of keep on going.
Like a frisbee, like you would.
If it touches a knock hole, if it gets anywhere near a post, you're gonna have to go get it.
So, did you think you're gonna have a second day fishing at the Bassmaster down there in Santee?
I thought so. I was going to go somewhere else and kind of try and swing for 110, punching grass and throwing a frog.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So canceled it due to weather. And so we decided to head up to a magical lake up north. And I was like, let's go. It's going to be hours in the car, but you know what? Beats whatever Santee was offering, which wasn't a whole lot. And But yeah,
I let you down though. I promised you 24s.
you did. I am a little disappointed. I actually, I just got done editing a short today. I was like, Wyatt promised me a crap ton of fish, and then I just had like all the fish that I caught later that day. He was just basically our guide, and he's like, "Let's go over here. Let's cast here," and everyone's like, "Pop, pop, 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 pop." All right, we're done here. They're done hitting. Let's go over here. Pop, 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 pop. It's like it's so stupid. It's so stupid, but a lot of fun.
60, 70 fish between all of us that day.
It was really dumb, and also I think that the biggest like highlight for me is that I actually have all your waypoints for that particular lake, and so why would just give you anything? He'll give you the shirt off his back, the waypoints off his hummingbird. My gosh. But appreciate you, Wyatt. You put me on the juice, put me on my PB. I always told my wife, whenever I catch my personal bass, whenever I die, you have to take my ashes to that lake and put it in that lake so all the bass can eat it. Now I'm like part of the lake. And so I texted her the waypoints to that lake. Like, hey, this is where I go when I die. She's like, I'm not driving all the way down there. Just put it on my YouTube channel. Someone will pick me up and spread me out while they're fishing. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's get into this Coike business because this thing's freaking stupid. It's dumb. And I've been reading a lot of comments and people are like, oh, I think it's more of a Southern thing. And there's 1,000,001 different ways to rig this. I think it comes from Japan, right? And the interesting is it's JDM bait. It's made up by, the original Coike is made by Hide Up, right?
They made it as a topwater originally, which is wild.
Really?
Yeah. Like so they made the fish weightless originally.
Fascinating. All right.
The thing floats. I don't know if you know that, Darren. It'll float if you don't put it in. It'll just stay on top.
I guess it depends because they're making them not just out of TPE. But man, means thick hair in Japanese. Surprise, surprise. It makes sense with all that. But it's originally made for those highly pressured Japanese bass. And then it came over here and I still think there's a lot of people on the fence. Like there's some people who are like wholesale, right? And I'll be completely honest with you. When I was fishing, I went back to that lake. I caught my PB the following day. Wyatt had to work. He's still working, still has a job. I think. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to him.
I have to have a job now in order to afford all this.
Yeah, you got to afford all your all the Coike and all the ones I stole from you.
40 of them in the truck right now.
Oh my gosh. I need to talk to you after the show because finding green pumpkin right now is like near impossible. But I forget what I was even going to say. Oh, I caught a bass that day. And there's a Coike stuck in his throat, right? Someone had broken off a Coike and the treble stuck in the gullet. I tried to get it out. I was like, oh, this thing's going to die if I try to rip this out. But I'm starting to find these baits in the mouth of fish that I'm catching. And so pretty wild. So let's go ahead and break this thing. Let's break this thing down. Why do you think this has exploded in popularity recently? Like for someone who's just hearing about this stupid thing, like anybody know the history or who's winning what on it? Why is this thing so popular?
I know it's been around for a couple of years now. They've been floating around because Fisher in Iowa. I always brain farted on the lake. It was earlier this year. He won. I don't know his breakout win. Where?
Lanier, I think.
Lanier. Okay.
That's the tournament. That's the tournament that really popped it off, and it's the weirdest thing ever. I have a conversation with my buddies here all the time. Obviously there's some hype around it beforehand to get the pros to start throwing it and blah, 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 blah. But that's the tournament that really set it off. And it wasn't even on giant fish. It's Lanier.
Oh, really?
You're excited about a 3-pounder. It wasn't. No, he won the tournament on that. And it was like, instead of 2.8, you're catching 3.5. And that's the thing that really set it off. And I saw it here. I live on Gunnersville, and literally the full cast, and then there was full cast, 17 millimeter. The whole lineup of Hide Up was there. And this is like way back when. And yeah. I saw it sit on the shelf for 4 months. I picked two up just because I'm a curious person. I'll throw anything, and I'm always trying to find something new, something different. I literally, from January to whenever that one tournament was going on, I could have went and got 10 full cast, 10 17 millimeters, 10 13 millimeters any day I wanted.
Really?
That is the tournament that set it off, though. And it's the weirdest thing is because it wasn't even on big fish. It was on big spotted fish that were 3 pounds, which is not a giant fish.
Right.
Like a ridiculous thing.
Yeah. Well, there it is. So how do we get, it's been exploding recently. I can't.
Well, yeah. Well, then after that, you're getting into the Texas, you had all the people down in Texas throwing it around the spawners or post spawners, and then those are those are the caliber fish we're all after. And then I think after that, those Texas tournaments happened where, because like this bait is not it's not a year-round bait as far as like where it really shines, just because once they start getting deeper, in my opinion, there's some better techniques to throw forward facing or not than the Coike. But when they went to Texas at the right time with it, they cracked them. And then so you have 2 tournaments in 2 different regions, at the same in the same time frame, and so then it blows up. I think that's what really blew it up.
And now we're on acceleration.
Like
what's
whenever
that?
We just had the kayak tournament in Caddo, and the guy came in second. He caught a 10.6 or something in practice on it, and most of the top 10 were throwing those around the trees, either scoping or not scoping.
Well, and that Caddo event was after the events I'm talking about. So
yeah,
it's like anything else in fishing. Once one tournament is won on it or done well on it, everybody starts with the percentage of chance for somebody to catch a fish on that goes up. So 1 + 1 = 10 in the fishing industry, and then and then you add forward facing to it, it makes it equal 12.
Yeah,
the Whopper Plopper, 10 years ago.
Yeah, the A rig. I keep saying this thing is the modern day A rig. In my opinion, it is. So,
and then you get pictures of this sticking out of the mouth of the bass, and then put that on social media, and people are like, "What in the world?" Because it looks just so freaking wild and so unique. It's easy for something like this to start catching fire, but the thing freaking catches them. Like I went out today, and I go to a local body of water to shoot my videos because there's hardly everybody on it. And I was like, you know what? I'll go and throw this. I haven't thrown it on this lake yet. Popped to 20 within like 5 casts, and 10 casts later, popped to 21. You've got to be kidding me. Like this thing is, I don't know. Now, granted, you can put this in a lot of anglers' hands. Some are going to have success, some are not. I learned how to fish it through Wyatt and being out in the water, and he kind of walked me through his process, which is now my process. And so there's going to be a lot of sore mouths up here in Northeast Ohio. But this thing it's kind of wild. Now, Wyatt, you work in kind of retail and you sell these things. How are these things flying off the shelf?
It started to slow down in the past week.
Oh, all right.
But I mean, previously we were getting like 400, 500 of them at a time, and they're gone
before it hits the floor.
Yeah.
That's mostly because Wyatt was taking $250 for his personal stash before they actually hit the floor. Which ones are you like selling the type?
We only sell. We have the Z-Man, the little baby ones, and then the Strike King baby ones, and then we get the Hags ones, and then our store here in Fayetteville, we're gonna be one of 7 that actually gets the 6 cents ones.
Oh, all right.
So we'll be getting those here shortly.
Yeah, I would imagine everyone and their mother right now is scrambling to get the mold.
Yep, that one.
Oh, it's the abstract. All right, Austin's ready to do a little show and tell. I'm excited about this.
You told me to bring it, so
I did.
Told me to bring it, so I got rigging and all.
Oh, bro, we're about to get into that. Bass Thumb AI wants Wyatt to spill the beans on his process. We'll get there. I'm sure you'll hear about this as Austin and Wyatt both share. And this is what I love about the podcast, right? I don't know about you guys, but man, being around these caliber type of anglers just makes me a better angler all around. So you're in the right place today. All right. So, Austin, when did you first discover this? Austin, I think you already kind of shared. It was just kind of on the shelf there.
Yeah, it was on the shelf. Like I do this thing where I go to the tackle store and I just look for something different and I pick it up and figure out how to use it. That's how I figured out about it.
Wyatt, and how long ago was that?
Late last year, probably. I couldn't tell you the exact month. I know it was late last year. It was actually in the winter. I actually saw some in the winter, and I was like, what is that? Went by the tackle store twice to pick up some other stuff. Then I went back again, and then something in my head was like, you should get one of them. And I grabbed 2 of them because I always buy stuff in 2. All right. And started exploring with it, and the rest is history.
So I know that you fish in the winter. Is it a
no, not for me. Not for me, but I also like to say, like, I just picked it up at that time, so I'm new to it. There's nuance to this bait. There's more nuance to this bait than I think maybe any other bait out there. There's or at least there can be on my bodies of water. There's a lot of like little things that separate, from a fish committing and not committing.
Ooh.
And then, so about late last year. But I'm going to try it this winter. You better believe it. I'm going to really, really give it its go.
We will get to those nuances a little bit later in the show. Wyatt, when did you first hear about this bait?
I mean, I've been watching it on the Elite Series for a while, and I've been fighting the power, especially like at Caddo. I was like, I'm not going to lose to a spiky ball, and I was like, I threw the jig and threw the jig and threw the jig on these trees and stuff like that. And then coming up to the Santee event, I was watching the elite guys, and it's just whole top 10 throwing it. And I'm like, all right, like I gotta, I can turn against the skid for a good bit, but eventually I gotta turn into it and pick it up and start playing around with it. So I mean, it's a month and a half, 2 months ago.
Okay.
For me.
Yeah, I don't know why I resisted it. It's like, oh no, the latest fad. But then again, I throw an upside down bowling pin with a lot of success as well. So I was like, you know what? I'm all in. I'm here for it. Let's do it. What was your initial first impression, Austin, when you see that thing on the shelf? Now, obviously, you bought one. Did you buy it simply because it was like, okay, that's different, and I want to figure it out?
Something different.
Like,
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, or were you like, hey, I know specifically how I'm going to fish that?
A lot of people who keep up with the stuff that go on in Japan, it's kind of how the fishing industry goes. Something big is going on over here in Japan. They figure it out. The pros figure it out, or they get the connections to get it. They keep it a secret as long as they can keep it a secret. And then they do so well in a tournament, then everybody wants to figure it out, and they get FBI inspected, and then it slowly but surely gets tripled out. But I saw it, and I was like, I like throwing big swim baits. Like, I absolutely love throwing big swim baits. I could go out and catch one fish a day on one big swim bait, and I'm happy. And I saw it, and in my head when I first saw it, I said, because bass aren't like, you got to get their curiosity first. We're throwing artificial lures, and so I was like, it's big, and I've mainly fished in Gunner's one. I was like, I could replace the Cinco for me, or it could supplement, or it could work its way a 1-2 punch, and then so the size of it really got to me. It wasn't the small ones. The small ones, I was like, you can't throw them but 40 feet. It's so annoying. But the big ones you can throw, you can chunk them. They have a lot of drawing power, and I was just like, let me just give it a shot. I mean, I've tried so much tackle over the years, like to where it's like none of it works. Like I'm like, this is stupid. But I tried this one. Didn't have a lot of success with it at first. But then
what were you trying to do?
I think there's a cadence to it, and then I just. The tackle was set up wrong. I had the hooks wrong. I was just doing it completely wrong. And then every time I would do one thing wrong, I would sit down, go back home. The beauty of, filming all your trips, you can kind of, what went wrong? Where did it go wrong? How did it go wrong? And then how can I not do that again? And then slowly but surely I came up with, so what's really cool about it is like, I'm kind of stubborn. So like I didn't listen to anything that I saw. There wasn't a lot out, but I like to figure it out on my own. If it takes me 3 months longer to figure it out versus I could have just watched the video, I'm going to take the 3 months. It's just who I am. It's like I'd rather figure it out by myself than be told what to do, because then I know me and how I fish. And so it was just kind of the little things like, well, I don't want to spill it all the beans yet, but we'll get into part of the nuanced stuff later.
Yeah. So when you look at this, why do you think bass react so strongly to it? Right? It doesn't look like anything typically in the lake that you typically.
Well, they're curious. Right. They're a curious creature. So they're the number one thing with this bait is I don't think it gets bit off of, especially on forward facing. It works without it. But especially if you're a forward facing angler, since you're putting it in their bubble, it gets their curiosity. What is that? That doesn't look like anything I've seen before, but there's a volume to it. So that's a big meal. Big fish is like, oh, I can maybe sit on that for a while. And then you just get the curiosity, and then it's all about reading their body language and their cadence. And then you can hopefully convince them to eat.
Why? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Why do you think the bass react so strongly to it?
I mean, I think there's a couple things. We had the Berkeley guy. I think it was the Berkeley guy on a couple weeks ago who talked about the profiles of the bait, and like fish would look at the profile and they'd assess, like they would assess whether it was a narrow profile or a big profile. And like these bigger fish are looking for that, they see something that's just kind of gigantic rather than a weightless Senko or something that's super thin. It looks kind of bulky to them. And then whenever it's sinking, every single one of those arms is sitting there just buzzing. So those fish can sit there and just feel it the whole way that it's moving. Every as it's sinking down, those fish are just sitting there vibrating as all the as all the arms are sitting there vibrating. And then I think I have an idea of what it looks like to the fish, but
spill the beans. What do you got?
Well, have you heard the theory about from when they're a baby, the microorganism?
Oh my God, yes, yeah.
I was like, this guy's reaching.
I don't know
like,
that.
I've heard it so many times now, but
Yeah,
I'm like,
I don't
they
think
saw,
the
they
bass is
saw it
something
when
that
they were a
realize.
baby, and they ate it when they were a baby. So now when they're 15 years older, oh, there's that
Those
honey
microscopic-
bun I've been looking for 20 years. Yeah.
There it is. They grew up.
they remember that piece of plankton that they ate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Oh, God.
I think it's just a big, easy,
Yeah.
slow meal that
It's
will fit in my mouth.
You've ever been walking a creek and kicked over rocks and watched crayfish swim away?
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly how they.
No, yeah.
Whenever you kick over a crayfish and it shoots up and it just kind of like floats back down and shoots up
kick,
and floats back down. Yeah.
Kick.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. All I know is it catches fish. And what I have found, it's typically like a dink repellent. I don't catch a lot of, I've only fishing it for a couple of weeks, but I've been fishing it hard. I don't catch a lot of smaller ones. And the ones I do, maybe it's my setup, and hopefully I'm going to learn some stuff tonight, because usually the small ones will shake free, but the big ones, because of the hook set, I get a more deeper penetrated past the barb hook set. But we'll talk about that a little bit, because I'm really curious on how Austin hooks his up. Have you guys found that too? Fish on the larger size with your 17 millimeter Coike balls, urchin baits? Or
I don't
no?
even throw the 17 millimeters, to be honest with you. 18s, I have some. I'll throw them if I'm throwing them in a creek or in a spot.
That's
like
a
if I'm
19
big.
there.
Is it 19? All right.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a full cast pretty much.
So back to the question: caliber of fish versus.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of little fish, they come up. One, they don't have the mouths to just completely engulf it, because when they get halfway, the arms are kind of stopping it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, especially if you don't rig it right, the hook could be. You can have the hook to where the hook goes in this way, but then when you set the hook, you're pulling. Does that make sense? You're pulling the barb straight before it actually ends up in the fish's mouth if they don't nip it. Especially if you get like a big curious fish. I rigged them the old way, and I lost so many fish. Like, I would hook them, they would load up, and then it would just go limp. And I saw one, and this is actually a crazy thing that happened. It's 1:00 in the afternoon, bluebird day. The water clarity finally got to be like 5-6 foot. And then I threw at one that I saw, and then I'm working the fish, and then it came up, and I saw it on forward facing, and it followed it for like 60 feet and just wouldn't commit. 60? And then, some of them will follow it. And then I twitched it, and then it got so high up in the column of my forward facing, I was like, I should be able to see that. That says it's 3 foot down. I know I have 5-6 foot visibility right now. I looked down, and no later than I looked down, I just gave it one little twitch, just because it's just to keep the bait moving. And then I saw the mouth, but then you know how stuff slows down, like your brain just like takes a screenshot. And I took a screenshot, and I saw where the hook was doing the treble hook in the top deal. And I was like, when I pulled that hook, the hook was sitting up against the mouth, and then it rolled it. You roll it out of the fish's mouth pretty much, especially if they just nip it. But this fish engulfed it, mouth open, everything. And then I saw the hook, the way it went in, and then I can, do the math. If I were to pull the line and then pull the line back around, you're pulling the hook to where the barb, as it's coming, it misses the fish's mouth, and then you don't even get them.
Did you get that one?
No, I didn't get that one. I slowed it down. I had 3 angles. I had a back camera, because it was like, right there.
You're doing this is on your edit. This is your postmortem.
Well, no, I saw this with my head. I saw this with my eyes. I saw like what went down, and then I confirmed it when I got home. I saw the hook facing the other way, partially due to probably me popping it too hard, because there's a happy median on too much and not enough, and I was giving her the beans. But so I just saw that.
All right, Wyatt, any thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, I've lost a couple. I feel it's probably because it's rolling around their mouth.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
Whenever I put like the hooks with the barbs kind of bent in, like
Mhm.
what I usually throw on my treble hooks and stuff like that, I was losing a lot of them. So I went just to the regular straight up treble hooks, and stick
And
them
this
a
is
little
exaggerated. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
No, here you go.
This is exaggerated if you don't get the right size treble on the bait.
Yeah.
All right, let's start getting into the nitty gritty here. So, Austin, earlier in the show, you mentioned there's a variety of different nuances to the bait. But first, let's start with how do you rig this thing? So, I want you to start, Austin, first with what you did wrong, right?
Okay.
Because a lot of times, especially with a new bait, a lot of people are going to try to find any information they can about it, and they're going to regurgitate it. If they found early information, it could be the wrong way to be doing it. So, Austin, first, walk through what you did, why you believe it was wrong, and kind of the modifications to where you are today.
So at first I started with just your typical Nico hooks, like single hooks. Like I wish I should have grabbed one. Just the typical hooks you're seeing, like a big Nico or like a big extra wide gap hook, or just a straight shank hook that's like a 2-aught, 1-aught. Just depends on the size of bait or the core, really. And if you don't pay, let me grab it. It's worth. I know where one's at. So hold on.
Yeah, go for it. Got some good questions over here. There's can you wig it weedless? We'll get to that question in a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and star that one.
Here's the first problem. So this is something to pay attention to with the bait, and this is for a Nico hook. Now this is not. You can throw it on like this. This is just an extra wide gap hook, but this is the biggest thing that you need to pay attention to when throwing this thing. Do you see how the hook? The point is like pretty much dead in line with the eye.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no offset. The hook doesn't go up. There's no bend right here like a Nico, where it kind of goes back into itself or whatever. Look, I can't even hook myself with this. Do you see that right there?
Mm-hmm.
That is because the line in the eye is protecting the hook on a bait like this. So if you were to put your Coike or whatever on here, this is the first thing I did wrong. It wasn't this hook. It was a Nico hook, but it was a Nico hook that didn't have the right gap. Does that make sense? Because like this is the fish's mouth. When I pull this, look, I'm not even hooking myself.
So you're looking for a round bend.
Well, you're looking for not even a round bend. You're looking for the gap between. How do I do this? And the gap between the hook is higher than the eye.
I have those.
So that was the first thing I did wrong. That was the because I wanted to do this single hook. The treble hook, I felt like if they get it, they're going to get it back in the gills. And then for me to get it out, I got to rip a gill plate out. And I was trying to be, a conservationist more than anything. I didn't want every 9-pounder I catch, I'm killing, I didn't want to be that guy or do that. So that's the number one thing that really got me was the hook angle, or the eye to whatever you want to call that, the eye to hook. You got to have, I'd like to say like half a finger, like half the width of your finger. Like you got to have something. I mean, you can really test it. If you put it on a carpet and you go like that and you don't hook yourself, it's the wrong hook.
Okay.
Because if that hook is in that fish's mouth at any, obviously I could probably take this and bend it up or whatever. But if, like I was telling you about, even with the trebles or stuff, if that hook is not in there good or not in their mouth good, it'll just increases your chances of just loading up, feeling how big the fish is, and then you lose it, and then you want to go home and cry.
All right. So you don't use a treble. So you use single.
I use the treble now.
Okay. All right. We'll keep going. So you're still in a single.
So since Hide Up, I still don't know what the story is about where in manufacturing, where it went wrong, where they couldn't get some, because it didn't make sense to me. Like if you have so much of a craze for a bait, number one goal of a bait company is to make that craze so that you can sell and get in and just get a massive capital, 100%. But for some reason, getting it across the pond, making it, manufacturing, couldn't get plastic. Who knows what it is? New baits have came along that have different body designs, and I'll get to this in a second, which is my favorite one. Have kind of changed the way I rig depending on the brand per se.
Okay.
So that was the first thing, was the hook. The second thing was throwing too small of a treble, because I felt like, oh, the fish can see it. And then I was like, well, there's 14 tentacles hanging off of it. Stop being stubborn. Like, they can't see it. Just throw one big enough that's got a good gap on it and call it good. Like, that's the number one thing, is to get the hook gap. My third thing, well, we're on rigging right now.
You're still walking through all the your evolution of figuring out what works and what didn't.
So it was that. It was the hook angle. Then it was the hook size for a treble, because I tried to do the treble thing. Then I went to like a big, What was the
size you started out with? Like a size
on the full cast, I think it was like, shoot, I don't even remember, to be honest. I'd have to go out there and look.
Got it.
I know what I'm throwing now, but I can't remember. I think it was like a number, maybe a 1/0 or number 1, somewhere in there, that middle range. The full cast you can get away with a little more, because it's got like a smaller ball. And then for the rigging, that was the top two things, was the hook angle, and then, just not getting enough hook gap, even if you are on a treble. You have to have that hook gap, especially with the treble, because the thing about the treble, and I did not want to get away from the single hook for the longest time, because I was like, well, if I do get them pinned, my chances when they start jumping go way down of losing them for them to throw the hook. Then I started doing the treble thing, and then I was dumping fish left and right, because there's just, your treble's hook gap's not big enough, and you got two smaller ones, and sometimes the shank, the actual shank part of the hook is not as long on a treble. And so I started dumping fish on that, and then I've got to what I've got to now, and have lost 0 fish.
All right. Well, I'm curious of what that is. Why? Take me through your evolution.
So, I mean, I went straight to the treble hook, just, nail weights, putting nail weights inside, and then stabbing the treble hook in it. And then I, lost a couple. You start losing nail weights, and tungsten is hard to get right now. So I had to figure out something else. So I went to, putting bobber stop on the treble hook, still lose a couple here and there. Then I went to taking an 1/8 ounce drop shot hook, or drop shot weight, and stabbing it straight through it, and then running the hook, just like that, running the hook through the actual eye of it, putting a bobber stop on there, and I stopped losing them. I lose 1 or 2 here and there.
It's hard to see.
That's about where I've gotten to now. I tested out. I took the VMC bladed trebles, since they have a swivel hanging down straight out the middle.
Oh yeah.
I actually took the blade off the treble and ran the drop shot weight onto that little swivel that's straight underneath the treble, and really good hookups with that. I hooked a lot of them in the tongue. That was the only bad thing. Like, I was starting to hook them in the gills.
With the treble? With the gills, yeah.
So I was like, I like it.
That goes back to what I was telling you, is like, when you pop it, the bait wants to roll, and most of the time it's rolled inverted into itself. So then when you set the hook, this is the hook point that comes back into the bottom of the mouth. Almost every time.
Yeah. All right. Keep going. What else we got?
Yeah, I lost zero Coikes doing that, because if a fish grabbed it and just pulled it off the weight, you just wait 10 seconds and the Coike floats over the top. So
there you go. Yeah.
I mean, that's where I was at with that. So then I just went back to stabbing the treble hook through that drop shot loop, and that's where I'm at right now.
All right. So this is your setup, Wyatt, because this is how you taught me, right? This is a little teardrop weight. You shove that all the way through. You type this. Do you crimp down that metal?
I did.
Sometimes
it breaks sometimes it breaks the crimp.
Yeah.
And then you just ruin the whole drop shot weight.
Yeah, these are a pain in the butt to get through there, by the way.
Yeah, the hags, they go straight through. Hags, they pop right in. The Amazon brands, they're a lot tougher to get in.
This is the Amazon brands. I got some on the way. So green pumpkin's hard to find right now. I got to find black and a few others, and this is what I caught. Black is what I caught them on today. But all right, keep taking us through the evolution, Austin, to kind of what you do now, size hooks. And then we'll start getting into line and rods and all of that. Because I've seen guys fishing on spinning. I've seen them fishing on bait casting. The line's all the way from 20 pound down to 8 pound. It's all over the place. What do you got for us?
I guess the next evolution was the cadence per se. Cadence and learning to read a fish's body language will tell you everything. And once you can learn a fish's body language with it, there's pretty much no fish you can't catch. Because if you can learn their body language, and if they show you body language, meaning once they show interest, obviously there's going to be days you go out there and you throw at it and they go, I don't want you, bro, get out of here. And then you just got to move on. But if they can move their right pec fin once because you came over, I can pretty much get you by learning the body languages and then the cadences of it. I can't tell you how many fish, big fish too. I'm thinking about one fish, that biggest fish I've ever seen on, forward facing on my active target, that I wish I knew what I knew now then, because I probably would have got her to commit, is learning that cadence, because it's not all. I had so many where I was just like pop, and then I would see my bait here and then this bait here, and I'd be like, oh, she's right there. And then I would just leave it right there in front of her face, and then nothing would happen. Then she'd swim away, and then I'd pop it, and then she'd come back, and then she'd swim away, and then I'd pop it. And then, so like learning the cadence of like playing the cat and mouse game is the biggest thing once you get your hook right. And then I take that. I don't want it to just be just forward facing. The bait does kind of have its place without it, but if you pay attention to the cadence, if you're not using scope or whatever, pay attention to that cadence and then stay in that cadence in your head. It's very easy if you don't have it to just be like bang, 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 kind of like you're doing a wacky rig type deal. But then it's not the cadence that the fish wants that hits their lateral line or hits their brain or whatever to make them commit. So once I got the hook and everything figured out, it was more of just figuring out that cadence and reading their body language and putting those two together to make a fish commit.
Okay, so 2 questions here. Are you saying this is kind of how you have it set up too, like Wyatt?
No.
Or it's something different? What do you have?
Something completely different.
All right, what do you
You
got?
want me to get into that?
I want you to get into that, and then I want you to answer your nebulous cadence and like, what are you reading? Tell us what's going through your mind. What are you seeing on forward facing?
I'm reading the fish.
I want to know what that means to you.
I'm literally just, if she's more excited, I'm more excited. You know what I'm saying? Like if she's not very excited, I'm not going to give her a very exciting retrieve.
How fast they swim up to it.
How fast they swim up, and then water clarity, visibility, overcast, sunny, all these things play into play on how they react to it because of how far they can see. Is the pressure dropping? Is the pressure rising? Is the pressure stable? Is it high at a stable? Is it low at a stable? Is it medium at a stable? All this stuff and that's just a time on the water deal. Time on the water, and then that specific body of water for how those fish react to stuff. But do you want me to do my rigging?
Yeah, what you do
real quick?
And the rigging's all over the place. You go online, and my gosh, we got single hooks weight hanging off of them. It's insane.
I'm going to put my staple in the ground for this one, for this bait specifically. It's the best way to do it. Disagree with me and you can just be wrong. So here it is. This is a 6 cents. This is the abstract. It's just this one. It's the 24 millimeter. It's my favorite one so far. But I rig it to where a lot of people don't do this. I haven't seen really anybody do it. So I have a bobber stop right here on the line, kind of like you would do with punching. Then I have the bait itself, and then just put a treble. This is that quad hook, that Ryuji quad hook. A normal treble of the right size, like a 2/0 treble hook will probably do just fine. You can maybe even go to a 3/0 because this bait has so much appendages and it kind of hides itself. You kind of see it kind of hides itself in there. Okay. So, and then here's the big thing. I'll just pop it out, even though I don't want to because I just got it in there.
Cylinder weight.
Cylinder weight. It's a line through tungsten weight.
Got it.
So whatever depth your fish are at, all I do is I just push this thing out in the middle. And then I put that bobber stop on there to where it keeps the hook from just completely going out and it keeps everything together. Whoops. But I'm going to give you another tip too is you don't want, see, I've probably caught 40 fish on this one. So I'm having to super glue it in.
Is that TPE? Because you're like moving that in and out.
I don't know what 6 cents is. It's a stretchy material.
Okay.
but I just don't know if it's exactly TPE, if that makes sense. Let me pop this back in here real quick. So I put this tungsten weight. So
Back it
pound
out
for
a little
pound.
bit. You're a little close to the camera. Back it out for me. There we go.
Pound for pound, this is probably my, shallow to deep, my favorite one. This is a 1/4 ounce. This thing floats. Like, it's got a lot of volume for floating. So 1/4 ounce is a good one. 1/8 ounce is probably, a very good, like, let's see, for the people at home, I'd say up until about 6 feet, 1/8 ounce, anything 6 to 12, 1/4 ounce, anything after that, either Rain Man it and calculate, hey, this fish is swimming at this far and it's 15 feet down, so I need to throw it and give it 30 seconds to sink, or go to like a 3/8. But the 3/8 is kind of, it goes. Like, it goes down and goes quick. So when I put this weight in here, push that up in there real quick. So this 1/4 ounce weight is actually a little bit, so you have the cylinder, or you have the center of the bait. It's actually a little bit longer than the actual thing. And so don't push it to where the bottom, I'm trying to look at it and do it and then show you. So you don't push it to where it comes out the bottom of the bait. Does that make sense?
Yep.
You want it to where it's actually floating just a little bit, and I'll tell you why. So this is the top end of the bait. Here's the bobber stop. Let me move these tentacles out of the way. Jesus.
And that's from 6th Sense. Is that correct?
6th Sense is the abstract. This is the 24. This is the box that comes in. This is my favorite one. $15.99. Why?
Okay.
Cheaper than a full cast. So do you see how the bobber stop is up there, and then that 1/4 ounce weight, since it's a little bit longer, like a 3/16 is almost like the same size. The 1/8 ounces are like little bullet weights, like little 1/8 ounce bullet weights type deal. So you can actually stack 2 or 3 of them in there, or 1 or 2, and kind of play with your weights. So that bait right there, the bobber stop goes there. That just keeps the hook from just going all over the place when you pop it. It doesn't slide 15 feet up, and then your hook's like you're Carolina rigging it out in open water. But you don't want the weight to go out the bottom, because if you have the weight go out the bottom, it pushes the hook out about that much. And then when you pop it and it rolls on itself, it'll hook the line in itself. So what you want is the eye of the hook to pretty much, there's a hole in that bottom of that bait. You see that hole?
Yes, yeah.
You want the treble eye. You not shove it in there. You just want it to rest on there, because you still want it to hinge.
Pivot a bit,
You don't want it to be floating out, because then it'll wrap it around and hook itself. But if you just position your weights to where it's like just sitting up against it, and like, that half moon of the eye is sitting there, it'll keep the hook straight but let it pivot. But then when you hook a fish, this just goes and does its thing, and you fight the fish. It's just like a line through swim bait.
Got it. And it throws your bait, 5 feet up the line by the time you get it.
Throws your line 5 feet in the thing, and then with the trebles, it tears the bait up. You get like 5. It depends on the fish and the tenacity of the fish, but like eventually that bait's going to tear. You can only flip it so many times. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people throw it. The bait gets thrown. You'll never throw one on this. The biggest thing with this, after about 10 or 15 fish, the weight in the middle kind of gets rounded out, and sometimes I'll take, light fluorocarbon, and I'll go through the tube, because you can fit like 2 lines, two runs of line through it, and then tie it to where it keeps it in place. But like this one right here, I couldn't tell you how many is on this thing. Could not tell you how many I've caught on this. More than 50.
Wow.
And it's one lure. And then, like I said, the hook, just put a treble on there, like a 2/0 or 3/0 treble hook. I had this one. I got this from a buddy. We traded. What did I trade him? He needed some tungsten, and I needed a treble hook while we're out there on the water together. And he's like, I got one of these. So I was like, I'll take it. So that's my setup.
Wyatt, how much money did you just spend?
What?
How much money did you just spend just now?
I've already ordered a bunch of one-aught treble hooks, and I have the bag back from my Mojo rigging days. There you go, one-aughts.
There we go, one-aughts. Gamakatsu.
I was just thinking about, from my Mojo rigging days, where my 1/8 ounce cylinder weights are. I think I know where they are.
That's a big hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. But it's just here. I'll just take this one out of the package because you have that, so you can see it.
While you're getting that out, we got a comment over here. Going to drop the secret. The Berkeley Maxent Amoeba was in stock at Walmart. Just ordered 4 of them. Oh, I need to get my hands on those as well.
Those are going to be interesting because they have the Maxent in them. So you fold that over. So you have a hole. And this is what I actually kind of like about it. So most baits, these full cast bait or the dice baits, the hole is in the middle. This is actually offset a little bit, and I actually like it. So you see, it's right. It's right there, and it's kind of off center, and that lets the bait kind of roll to one side, and then it'll float pretty well. So I absolutely love these things.
So outside of the that brand, what you use anything else? Or you're like, hey,
I used the full cast until I got these, and I don't even need the full cast anymore.
So what's so massively different from one to the other? Or are you just seeing
this is bigger. I don't remember if it's a little. I weighed them at one point with the little gram scale deal.
Yep.
I can cast I can cast this 115 feet.
There you go.
You can chunk it. I love all the appendages on it. You know, I don't know. I like it. I love this feature right here. I love the line through when I've lost 0 fish this way. 0.
So where do you get those tungsten?
This is a queen tackle. This is a queen tackle line through.
For swim baits. Yeah, they made it for swim baits a long time ago.
They're made for swim baits. Yeah, that's exactly what they're made for. So I was one of them things too. I never seen, somebody's probably done it because we're all fishermen. It's kind of like a bait company saying they copied that person. Well, yeah, they did. They're trying to imitate a shad. So obviously when they come together, it's going to look the same. So, but I haven't seen a lot of that, but take that and you won't lose any fish.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. So what are some mistakes you see anglers making? I mean, I don't know if you're around a ton of people who are doing it. Everyone's just trying to figure this thing out. It's coming online so fast. What are some things that you're seeing out there, Austin, that kind of has your head scratching? Or
freezing up. If they're on forward facing, they freeze up. As soon as that fish comes up to it, they go, oh, and then nothing happens, and they stop moving the bait. If that fish is hot, keep it away from them. Act like a fleeing shad.
So walk me through how you're working like a jerk bait, kind of like pop, pop, pop.
Kind of, yeah.
As it gets faster, you kind of move it faster.
I throw it out there. Number one thing to do is throw it way past the fish. Especially if you're on a high pressured fishery, throw it way past the fish, and just bring it in, bring it right above them, and let it. Don't do it like a minnow to where like the fish is here and you're like trying to hop it into itself. Do it to where you bring it over the top and then it kind of just sits there. Because like Wyatt was saying earlier, this bait right here, I think it has more shimmy than the full cast does. Mm-hmm. Due to, if you see each appendage, how it's kind of got like a
little stem on the end. Yeah.
Little stem on the end. And I don't know if they have air in them by the mold or not, but just because it's got the little offset and then a little stem on the top, every one of these things is shaking like a leaf. Like when this thing falls through the water, it is like I can feel it in the boat almost. It's shaking so much. Like it's pretty crazy. So a lot of people, especially if they're just now starting out, they get it above the fish. The fish actually reacts to it. They're not used to being able to see a fish react to their bait. Then they freeze up. If that fish is just a rule of thumb, if that fish is hot, you get hot. Just like a jerk bait. Pop, pop, stop. Pop, pop, stop. Pop, pop, stop. That'd probably be the number one thing that I see.
How far past are you throwing this? Let's say I don't have forward facing. I know there's an underwater cover down there, right? Because I've caught a lot of fish on it. Or I see it on my side scan or whatever it is. How far are you throwing this past and bringing it through? Let's say we're in 10 feet of water. There's a brush pile. And how far are you away, right? What have you learned with forward facing about how fish react to how close you are, right? Obviously, you want to be as far away as possible.
Far away as possible. And then certain fisheries, if you're on a fishery where not a lot of people are really scoping, they're not as used to it. Mm-hmm. And then the beautiful thing about kayaks is since this is the Kayak Fishing Obsessed podcast, we can get closer to them without spooking them. You hear it in the bass boat world a lot. I got to 40 feet and it ran like a scalded dog. Well, I think they get used to hearing the patter, the patter on the fiberglass. They get used to hearing the foot stomps walking back and forth, especially if you got two people. It's like beating a drum underwater. But with the kayak, your only thing that's really going is the trolling motor. And if you have a quiet trolling motor, then you can get even closer.
Yeah.
So I try to keep the fish as far away as possible. Obviously, with forward-facing sonar, 50 to 70 is your like optimal like viewing image, and you don't have to interpret it as much. It's just whatever you see is what it is. But I try to keep them, especially big fish. Everything I'm saying right now is mainly for big fish, because pretty much anything can go out there and catch small fish. We're here to learn how to catch big fish as far away as possible. And then how far do I throw past them? As far as possible. Sometimes I'll have a fish at 90 feet, 70 feet, and I'll throw it past. I only have my sonar set to 100. I'll throw it past way at 120 feet, and then I know I lined it up, so then I'll just reel it. Especially if that fish is shallow or high in the water column. If they're shallow or high in the water column, that splash can spook them.
Attention.
And I don't care if it's at 40 feet. You'd have to be, if you find this body of water, let me know. If you can find some virgin fish, I'll pay good money to find some virgin fish, because I miss me some virgin fish. Because it used to be you could throw at them and it'll hit on top of the water, and then they would go to it because they're like, what is that? Mm-hmm. Now they hear the splash and they go, oh, Billy Bob's here again. Let's get out of here. Mm-hmm. So throw it as far as possible.
You can bring Austin to my lake down here.
Yeah, that lake is. I'm seeing some pictures from there of some other people, and I'm like, golly, I had to make a trip.
It's pretty dumb.
I had to make a trip up to New York.
New York City. I love it. Oh my gosh. So let's talk. We talked about the lure a lot. We talked about the hook. We have not yet talked about the line, the rod, all those things.
This is where I'm gonna get some hate.
Oh, I like it.
This is where I'm gonna get some hate. Am I going, or Wyatt? Do you want to go first?
I started with a chatterbait rod. Like I started with like a soft rod. Then I went to the heavy action, and now I'm back to like the middle of the two, like a heavy chatterbait rod, where I want it to fold, because I mean it's a treble hook. It's a treble hook, and there's a lot of weight on those fish. There's a lot of weight as leverage, so I don't want to be yanking it out of their face, but I want some give. I want some give to it.
Yeah. So, you want to tell me your rod, or do you all just want me to speak first?
I'm curious.
I mean,
I'm using like a worm jig rod. It's the
rod I'm using is just a medium heavy fast, 7.2 to 7.4.
It's like your all around rod.
It's like a swim jig rod. Whatever you throw a swim jig on, pretty much in a way. I like, and it also depends. Like, I say 7.2 to 7.4. It also depends on your manufacturer on how much butt section they put on there. Because if you get a 7.2 rod, but it's got a 16-inch butt, you're throwing like a 6.9 rod pretty much. I do like a longer rod, because on a big fish, when it comes up, you have that leverage, but I don't want to go so long till I'm wearing my wrist out after 2 hours of fishing.
All right. So why would you get hate from that?
That's not the part that I get the hate from. My part's in the line.
All right. Well,
yeah. So I think everybody's on a universal, like 7.2, 7 foot to 7.4, medium heavy fast. Probably there'll be some people that say a moderate, which is fine. I could see it especially if you're hammering them. I'm seeing some people, like, I know a guy right now, he's getting surgery on his wrist because of how much he was hitting the fish with. He's like, literally, it's from Coike fishing. It's just because I was hitting them so hard, and then my jerks were so hard. So like if you're actually hammering them, then you might want to go to a little bit more moderate rod, not only for your body, but for not breaking the rod.
Hold up. Did you just say something's getting like surgery because of his wrist?
I caught so many fish. I need surgery. Terrible.
You need some arm insurance.
Yeah, no, I can tell you right now, I'm going to have carpal tunnel on this left wrist right here from Minorin and Coike's. I will. It's just part of it. It's like the old days, like your back was hurting and your shoulders are hurting from throwing deep plugs. Well, the modern day fishing is going to be whatever risk is going to be carpal tunnel. It's going to be everybody's going to be walking around like this because their hands are locked up from going like this all day.
Yeah, got the old Coike hand. Yep, classic. We're all 40, 50, 60 years old. Oh my gosh.
That's it.
All right, you're going to get hate from the line. What do you got?
Braid the leader. You want me to explain to why? Most people are throwing it on anywhere from 18 to 22 pound fluorocarbon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you why in a kayak. This is a kayak fishing. Fluorocarbon's got a lot of stretch, especially if you hit that fish at 70 feet. I know the comments are about to come. Oh, but what's his face and who's his face? And I've done it and I've caught fish on. I can go catch a fish on a cane pole, but don't mean I'm going to, right? It's like with fluorocarbon, with so much stretch it has in a kayak, go watch. If you don't believe me, go back to the Santee event. Watch how many times these guys set the hook and they run to the back of their boat. Because they're trying to take up that stretch, trying to take up that slack. And then in a kayak, you don't have that luxury. You're standing in a 2x2 area and you're stuck there. Your feet are glued. Everything has to be in the rod and in the reel and then you keeping up with the fish. So I throw it on 30-pound braid to a 18-pound fluorocarbon leader.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why is there's no stretch to it. I can't tell you how many times I've seen it personally without one of other people and myself. I used to throw it on full fluorocarbon. But you set the hook in this fish, and if you're not on your P's and Q's, like if you're halfway up and then you set the hook, it's even worse. Everybody I've seen who's dumping fish on this thing consistently is on full fluorocarbon in a kayak.
Interesting.
And that's due to the slack. You get these fish that have hard mouths, or you get these fish that where your hook got in a weird spot. When you set that hook, you're not pinning them good. And something about this bait right here, more than any bait I've ever thrown, as soon as you hook them, they go up vertical. Like I'm talking about they're coming up and they're jumping. And if you go to a braid to a leader, one, you don't have to pop it as hard. And this is like to be healthy on your wrist too. Working the bait, you don't have to pop it as hard to get the same amount of good action out of it because you're not having that bungee cord go like this the whole entire time, right? Mm-hmm. But then when you set that hook, you're getting that fish. And same thing with working it. You don't have to like get carpal tunnel every hook set you go because there's no stretch in there. But, having that fluorocarbon leader, the fish, doesn't see it. But that's your little bit of bungee. Y'all, what's the overlanding shock ropes? This is pretty much my shock rope. And I only go to 18 just because the fish I'm fishing for are bigger. Like that's what I'm targeting when I'm throwing this thing. And I don't want their teeth. Like they get this thing more where there's about that much line scratching the roof of their mouth. Mm-hmm. And I just want that resistance. You can throw 15 pounds. I've seen like 22 pound, 20 pounds, like the number one right now.
Yeah.
But partially, I think that's due to they understand people are learning and they're so stuck in their ways of we need to throw straight fluorocarbon that I need the higher poundage fluorocarbon so that way I can hit the piss out of them when I give them, I got to give them the beans to get that hook in there. Yeah. So I go braid to leader. Just because when you set that hook, when you set that hook, you're getting them in. I've literally lost, like on my mama, I've lost 0 fish on this setup right here.
All right. No, that's honestly my setup. I have a 30-pound braid to 20-pound fluorocarbon.
Okay.
But it's been working just fine.
Been hanging around the Hoovers too much.
I know, right? That's true. This is true. I don't do a lot of straight fluorocarbon. Actually, I have one rod that's set up full fluorocarbon. I mean, you get these aren't thin wire gauges, so you have to bury these things, and so.
Well, the big thing is like the longevity of yourself too. Like it really clicked it for me when this guy that I know, he's fishing out of a boat. He's having to get surgery. He's going to be done for 3 months or whatever his surgery is, and we would talk about how things are, how he does it, and how I do it, kind of like we're doing right now. And I'm like, "You're hitting them that hard?" He's like, "Yeah, that's why my wrist is jacked up." I was like, I'm just leaning into him, giving him a good pin, and I'm getting the treble all the way out, around the bend. It's like, well, damn, I wish I'd have known that earlier.
All right. So
weight gear ratio too. So this one's on a 7-1. picking up the speed and picking up that slack. And I'll tell you, another thing is when you pop that, a lot of people, they pop, and then they get right here. They're back here, and then that's when they feel the bite, especially if you're not looking at them. Mm-hmm. Try to like pop and reel at the same time, because a lot of times you're setting the hook on that fish, especially if you're not, if you're not using forward facing, you're setting that hook on that pop. I see it a lot of times where you're popping it, you're not reeling it, and then immediately, you're trying to catch up with the fish. The fish is running at you because it feels the pressure, but then you can't double pump. They come up and throw it. Yeah. So that's the number one. I've seen so many fish get dumped on straight fluorocarbon, bass boats and kayaks. And people are sitting here, if they're watching this video that are throwing it straight fluorocarbon, they're probably going, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't realize how much stretch 60 feet of fluorocarbon has on, like you said, a heavy wire gauge hook.
Yeah.
On a big fish that's got a mouth this big, this thing has every ounce of room to move. Even, with this, it's not as your percentage goes way down. But like if you're doing the treble hook, it's kind of like a jig. When you have that treble hook and then you have I don't know how much this thing weighs. At least a quarter ounce, but then probably I got a scale right here. I can weigh it while y'all talk here in a second.
Yeah.
But if that's on a treble hook, that's just sitting there on that treble hook. When that fish comes and it's shaking and it's trying to get it out of its mouth, it's kind of like a half-ounce jig sitting out there on the front. And, you throw a half-ounce jig on a fast rod with a big fish. Trust me, I know. I probably lost I lost my biggest fish of my life on a half-ounce jig due to letting the fish come up. And so, yeah, here, while y'all talk, I'll cut this and figure
there out. There you go. Wyatt, thoughts?
I'm not a braid to fluoro guy. I only do it for spinning and salt water. So I mean, my swim jig rod is the only rod that I have that I could. I only have braid on my punch rod, my frog rod, and my spinning stuff. So I have a swim jig rod that I throw a 30-pound braid on. I might have to try it out.
Yeah, right. I'm telling you, especially you have a lake and a place to go to where you can go and test it quickly and adjust in your mind, adjust the hook set and the popping, because you don't have to work it as hard. So it's on a long jig. If you get on a tournament to where you're throwing this all day, it'll wear you out. It's like an old deep plug bite. So you don't have to work it as hard. And then when you hook the fish, your money. Let's see what this thing weighs.
So we've been talking a lot about like the mechanics of the urchin style baits. Now let's talk about like, where are you throwing this? All right, where is it? What type of water is the Coike going to excel in? Have you heard? I know we're talking a lot about lakes and reservoirs. Have you heard a lot about ponds? Have you heard a lot about rivers? Smallmouth eating this thing? Are they chewing it up? What do we got? What are you guys hearing?
I think the smallmouth spawn is starting, I think, up north, and I know a couple of guys that are going to be throwing it around like the chartreuse ones and pink ones and all that for the smallmouth.
Smallmouth, they love bright colors.
Yeah, like bedded smallmouth and crystal clear water. I feel like they're going to lose their freaking mind when they see that.
This is an ounce with a quarter in it, so this is 3/4 of an ounce without a quarter ounce weight in it. So back to if you just treble hook it, that's a 3/4 ounce jig just sitting there, just waiting to get tossed.
Yeah. All right. I look forward to buying some of the smaller ones and trying those out in the rivers up here. That should be a good time.
I think throwing them weightless in an eddy, in a seam, just throwing it in the seam and then trout lining it is going to be deadly. They're just going to see a big meal, kind of like that crawfish, especially like you're talking about the crawfish deal. In a creek and river, that's one of their main forages. They're going to see that thing floating, and then it's just going to be like pink. Yeah. So if the rain, we got 7 inches. We've had 2 inches of rain each week for the last month. Then we got 7 inches of rain.
Oh gosh.
What's today? Tuesday? Saturday.
It's blowing out.
And then we got 2 inches more coming. So if I ever get to go to the river again this year, I'll go.
No, I went to the river yesterday, and we're like, that looks a little bit high. Let's go ahead and do it anyways. And halfway through, we're like, we just paddle to the end. I mean, we did 7.5 miles in, what was it? We were moving 7.5 miles an hour with paddling. That's how fast this thing was. It's like, all right, we're going to give up. We wasted a morning, but yeah. I did catch a couple, but man, it was
Less than ideal.
Less than ideal. Typically, when we pick up 20, 30, I think we picked up 4. So get me off this body of water.
Yeah, it's just unfishable. You're moving too fast.
Yeah, 100%. So, what depth range are you targeting most often when you have the Coike?
What's Wyatt laughing about?
I don't know why he's laughing. Is he reading a comment over here? What's going on?
No, I've got a lake up the road that I caught like 110 fish out of the other day, and just mega schools out there. And I was fishing it in like 22 feet of water.
Really?
And I cast it out, and I literally was set a timer on my phone for 45 seconons.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Yeah.
It's 45 seconds. Click the reel and go twitch, and it goes bam immediately.
That's another question, because I've noticed when I haven't been fishing that long, I've noticed it doesn't get hit on the fall. It's only once you start moving it.
Yeah, I think it's the number thing with this bait. I think it's the number one thing about this bait. I don't think it's so attractive, like as far as like, oh, it looks just like something and I'm hungry. I think it gets their attention, and then you just play cat and mouse with them, and then they don't have hands, so they have to taste it, and then you get them.
So they nose up on it. They're just kind of
nose up on
it, and they're just waiting for that thing just to show it's alive.
Yeah.
And it's usually on that first pop or second pop is when I nail it. Now, I haven't had a chance to like play with them yet, so let's see. Let's see what happens. I'm learning a little bit tonight. What are you laughing at, Wyatt?
No, I've just got that play lake. Like, the big. I caught 22 3/4 out of it the other day, but most of the fish I'm catching are 16 to 18 inches. But you catch 100 of them a day. So just playing with fish and playing with technique and stuff like that. What?
It's a fun day.
Oh yeah, like I forgot my crank. I forgot my deep cranks. Whenever I went up there, I would have killed to have a deep crank. And I was just literally just throwing a jig, throwing a Coike, throwing a shaky head. And you do that. I did that for like 3 hours straight, just catch a fish on every cast.
That's a good time. So do you think this is a better bait for offshore or shallow?
Shallow.
What do you mean by shallow? Everyone's shallow is a little different.
Shallow as in relating to like it. Let me see how I word this, because I have caught some good fish. I'm tying this back on because I might use it tomorrow afternoon. Shallow as in relating to structure per se. So if it's deep, but there's like you see it on fork all the time. They're going in and they're finding them floating in the timber, but they're sitting over 20 foot of water. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like shallow as in being. I find it shines in zero, or not zero. I find it shines in like 6 feet to like 12. To where it's like fun and it's moving and you're going and you're doing your thing. Then after that, you got to weight it down. Then you got to start doing like Wyatt just said, where you got to start doing Pythagorean and theorem. That fish is at 60. I got to throw it at 80. I got to reel it. It's at a 4-second ROF or, So that's be mine. Up to about 12 feet.
So you're looking for the depth of
15.
6 to 12 feet.
15, mate. 15 would be my max before I start. My max before I start going. There's probably something. Could I? Yes, but there's probably something more efficient, better, or something that this is not the first thing I'm throwing at them. I'm throwing something else at them, and then until that proves me wrong, then I switch back to this.
Yeah. Wyatt, what about your thoughts on?
I think it's like I haven't chased fish around in the open, like just open water fish, but I think it's a lot of fish that are relating to stuff. Where it'll shine, like
brush piles.
It's like just whenever you have a fish that's hanging around something.
Yeah, or roaming on bottom on like a 8 foot, 10 foot flat. They just for some reason they love it.
Yeah.
But you could throw a big glide bait. You could throw a big glide bait at them and probably get some of the same fish. But it's just this is the craze right now, so the percentage of chances of it getting thrown is going to be a little higher right now.
Yeah.
Until people, I'm seeing it on my lakes around here where they're not even looking at it anymore.
Really, already,
they're just like, yeah, I've seen that 15 times already. Give me something else.
I can't wait for a year or two, and everybody just kind of forgets about it.
Yeah, well, it's going to be great. Everybody hates on this forward, but I'm going to love it here in the next 5 years. Is like because everybody's going to be spread out doing their own things.
There'll be another bait that comes along in 6 months.
I'm curious. I had this conversation with my buddy the other day. I said, first it was the Cinco, then it was the A-Rig, then it was the Minnow. Now we're throwing what they call cat toys. What is the next craze? We're having to get so far away from what a bait fish imitates. Like, what is next? Or is there not anything next, and it's just who can throw it the best and then make the right decision at the right time? I mean, you got the little bugs and stuff, but I kind of think those like the cricket. What is those? You know better than me. What, the thunder something?
It's the evergreen gizmo.
Something, those little crickets to where it looks like a centipede, and then you hook it in the center and it pops and all those kind of things. But I'm very curious at what's going to happen at ICAST this year. I mean,
you're going to see.
I'm curious, but I'm also already know what's going to happen. Last year it was all the little baby dice, and then this year now it's going to be all the dice,
just bigger.
So there'll be 15 companies this year once again that'll have 18 to 24 with 35 millimeter. I saw Coike just released like a 34 or something stupid.
Oh gosh,
the suplex
beach ball.
I'm here for it. I am here for it. I'm not gonna lie. That'd be a expensive, fun lose, I'm sure. If you could only own 3 colors of this bait, which ones have you found wildly effective for you, and why do you throw those colors?
Green pumpkin, scuppernong, and black. Well, time out. I'll put a chartreuse in there instead of black, because the green pumpkin or the scuppernong I could replace if needed, to where there's not that big of a gap.
Is that red one you had?
Yeah, scuppernong's red.
Got it.
So yeah. Put the chartreuse. If like you tell me I got to fish the entire country, you have to. You're dumb if you don't throw bright colors at spotted bass and smallmouth. They love them. Pinks and yellows.
Oh, we lose Darren.
Uh-oh. I was like, man, he's smoldering me pretty good.
You're really taking it in.
Really taking it in.
I'm trying to figure out like if these will work on something like the Susky, where we're going to go up there and fish current and things like that. Because I know he's back.
There we go.
There he is.
I don't know why it's doing that. It's weird. I can hear you guys, and I was talking, but apparently you can't hear me. So is your colors. Why? What's your colors?
I really like that shad, that translucent red. That is kind of translucent with little red flake in it.
Is that what you gave me? You gave me a couple.
Yeah, I think that's the first one I gave you.
I think it's smashed.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
It's like you're right.
I got them down in the truck.
Who makes it?
Hags. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I know which one it is then.
Yeah, it's got the little red flake in it, mostly clearish gray, and it turns like kind of
Texas Disco or something. I think it's Texas Disco.
Yeah, Lone Star Disco.
Lone Star Disco.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, that and green pumpkin and red.
All right, green pumpkins are hard to find unless you know Wyatt over here.
Green pumpkin, clear water over class day, or clear water, natural. Scuppernong I use it overcast. I don't know what about overcast. They love it.
Okay.
Something about the hue of it. They react to it better. And then black would be my nighttime fishing. I would nighttime fish with it.
All right.
Or chartreuse but I don't live in the smallmouth country, so.
What's the weirdest thing you've caught on one outside of a largemouth bass?
Caught a 4-pound crappie on one, or a 3-pound crappie on one.
Oh gosh. That's awesome. I know Agar took off with one in Wyatt Special Lake.
I threw at it, and I was like, it was kind of one of them days to where like big fish aren't playing. You just can't figure something out. And then I was like, oh look, there's a 4-pounder. Let me throw at it, and just so I can feel some joy in my life and feel some tug on the other end. And I threw at it, and it lit up like I haven't seen a fish light up in so long. And I was like, oh, well, makes sense. It's not what I'm normally throwing at. It's a crappie.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's like 6 sandwiches right there.
Yeah, 3-pound crap, 2.86 or something. So round up is almost 3.
Did you eat it? Did you let him go?
No, I let it go. I had stuff to do that evening. If I didn't have stuff to do that evening, I would have taken it home and filleted it for sure.
I love it. Wyatt, how about you? Anything outside of crappie and bass?
Catfish love it. Catfish,
really?
absolutely love that thing. I caught like a 7 or 8 pounder yesterday, and I mean, like, I'm hopping it, watching it, and all of a sudden, just up off the bottom, just swoop, comes and grabs it, and it grabbed it so hard, it was in its gills, and I killed it. Like, it just swam up and just swallowed the whole thing, and I ended up just going over to another boat that was out there and giving it to them. But it was like it came up, and by the time I got it in the boat and I grabbed and I lifted it, I'm looking down, like, I can see 2 or 3 of the tentacles sticking out of its throat, but because it had already swallowed the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it went down there.
It was gone.
Yeah.
You were digesting that thing by the time you was at the hook.
I'll back up myself. As I said earlier, like the treble, for some reason, like, you can get them. I don't know why it is about this way. I'm getting them in the roof of the mouth or the tongue type deal. So I know I said earlier the trebles, like, you can get them in the gills. I don't know if it's the amount of appendages or the line through how it stays where it's at. I'm not really getting a lot in the gills. So I know I said that earlier, and then you just said it. So I'll say that for disclaimer.
All right. So if you have not yet done so, hit that like button, please. We will get some extra yardage out of this. Last couple of questions here. Are we seeing a fad or a permanent addition to bass fishing? What do you guys think? You've seen a lot of baits come and go over the years.
I think. Go ahead, Wyatt.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna say it's permanent in mine because it fills kind of a niche where, you know, a minnow has to move. Like, if you're fishing over the structure and stuff like that, and you throw a minnow, the minnow is constantly moving. They can't really swim up. If they don't want to swim up to it, they just let it go.
Yep.
The lake that I fish, I throw a glide bait, and you see the fish kind of slow come over to it, and it gets away from them, and they just can swim back to their brush pile. But this, where I can sit there and just kind of work it in their face. I think it's going to have
zone.
You know,
Stay in their zone longer. Like, I literally believe every tournament across the country, if you had a minnow, a glide, and a dice, if you can get in the right area, you could win every tournament every year.
Yeah. They've started throwing it on the lake up here, and it's gone. It's stupid. I mean, I think
it's here to stay.
Yeah.
Is it worth the price?
Yes.
They're expensive. I got a lot of people like,
well, here, I'm gonna tell you why it's worth
for plastic.
I'm gonna tell you why it's worth the price. You ready? The amount of fish you get, the price per fish before you lose it. We pay right now as anglers. We buy a pack of Cincos or pack of whatever, and it's pretty much $1 a fish. So if you don't complain about that, you can't complain about this, because I can literally, this has over 50 fish on it right now.
Yeah,
and this was $15, $18, maybe somewhere in there, less than 20.
Like 40 cents a fish, or something like that.
40 cents a fish, and it's still trucking and still pretty. I left it and rolled it over, and it's got one tentacle, but I'll warm that up later and straighten it out, and we'll be good.
Yeah. So is there a nuance to, like, storing these things so you don't get them and they're all?
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
What have you found that works well?
I just keep it out of the heat, and then when you hook it on your rod, be sure you don't like fold like this one is, like, I was talking about on the heat. Where'd it go? Oh no, maybe it already straightened back out. Like, you can't just like slam it like you do a speed worm and then think you're gonna pull it out the box and be ready to go. It's gonna have a little
limp to it.
Little limp to a little dog leg, as they say, and then you'll be warming some water up to about 150 degrees that night and straightening it out, and then dipping it in some cold water. Storing them, a lot of people are like buying this big Plano box, and I'll probably going to do it eventually. But since I don't need but one to take one or two with me, I'm keeping the boxes and using the boxes. Obviously, this is not waterproof, but like my storage is, I'm just keeping them in their original packaging.
There you go. Throw them in the black bag.
I think give it a month and a half, and you'll see plenty of tackle boxes.
I'm sure iCast will have the Coike special. So
yeah. Like I said, I am for it. I'm excited about it. So definitely something you feel everyone should have tied on. Try this thing out. Learn it. It's not going away. It's not a fad.
But I will say, it's not an end-all, be-all. I don't want people to feel like it's like this like magic lure that every fish you throw at, you don't need to sell your house and buy an extra mortgage just to get on the Coike trend. Like, it's not an end-all, be-all. Like I can't tell you how many times I've thrown this at fish and get them to bite something else. So that means it's not the end all be all. It has its place in your arsenal, but don't think that it's like going crazy over it. Obviously, it's easy for me to say since I have some that I can say like don't go sell your house for. But it's like, especially if you don't have forward facing. There's a lot of kayakers that don't have forward facing. I can tell you right now, which brother won the Bassmaster Santee, Chris or Corey? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
One of the Johnson's brother won it. I can tell you that he probably could have caught some of the same fish throwing a wacky rig Cinco.
Sure.
Because I've seen it on wacky rig Cincos to where the wrong cadence can still get bit. Does that make sense? Like if you're not giving it the right body language reading, while this, if you're not in that right cadence, you're probably not going to get bit. Very rarely, for me at least, from my experience, very rarely if you're not in that right cadence. Now, if you're throwing it blinded, it's kind of like throwing a chatterbait. Throw it out there 3 or 4 times with this cadence, and then on the next time you throw the chatterbait, throw it at a different cadence. So that's my 2 cents. Is don't let it consume you. You're on a high right now. You just got that shot on it, and we all got that same shot.
I keep getting shots every time I fish the thing. I'm getting.
No, it's new for you right now, and you have this confidence in your head after you caught the first one to where that I don't care what anybody says. When you're confident, I'm gonna catch it in the bait. That energy comes into your rod and goes out there.
He goes to the line, goes straight to that bass. He opens his mouth. I take a picture.
I'm just gonna put that as a disclaimer. Do not let it be. Like, I'm going to go win every tournament with just the dice. It's
Yeah, God, we
Wyatt knows it pretty well right now, don't he? Then you just go to.
How many do you own, Wyatt?
We have them on the shelf at work, and I spent literally all day. Everybody walks up to the end cap that's full of them. I saw these on TikTok. I hear these are what I need to catch fish. And I'm like, in the right time, in the right place. Yes.
Just like every other lure in the eternity of fishing.
5 minutes later.
I love this trend. I love this trend that's going on right now on social media where it's like a badge of honor. Like if you can post a picture with the Coike, it's like I'm in the cool kids club now. It's like
I'm joining it tomorrow. My photo goes out tomorrow morning. You're gonna see a big old Coike out just in the mouth. The thing is, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful sight.
Darren's drinking that Kool-Aid.
I am. I'm drinking. I am like deep in. I'm like six cups in.
What was that? The first spot we went to, I think. Was that the first or second?
It doesn't help when I go fish with Wyatt and I
catch a PB on it.
Yeah, catch a PB, and not only that, like it's a PB, it's a 21, it's a 20, it's a 19, and then
that has to do with region too.
Well, then I fished it today for 30 minutes, catch a 20, catch a 21. I'm feeling real good. Watch out.
Oh, I have 21-inch fish.
Yeah, bro. Come on now.
I thought they just stopped at 20 and just
they kind of do. Like every once in a while,
you got to throw the Coike to get the 20 plus.
The 21. Okay, I'm lying. It is the end all be all. My bad, guys.
I don't know. There's definitely a nuance to fishing it, this will be an interesting next few months because I plan on going hard in the paint and figuring this thing out even more.
He's taking one rod out and just kind of.
What's the funny thing is, I didn't usually take 4 to 6 rods out. I took 2, and they both were Coikes today, and I was testing different rod actions and powers.
The only reason I bring 4 rods is to test out rods.
Testing out rods and testing out line. I broke one off. I was like, okay, it was a little bit too much power on the hook set, and then I got around to the my swim jig rod that I have. I was like, okay, that didn't break it off. So like, oh, here we go. I'm in it. You're gonna see a crap ton of pictures and videos, I hope, or I'll lose confidence here soon. I don't know. All I know is I'm having a good time, and I appreciate you, Austin. Appreciate you, Wyatt. This is so interesting. I'm interested with the good old predictions because ICAST is like 38 days away. So, what else do we want to see outside of every appendage that looks different and these things all over the place? And of course, probably boxes.
The Gelacanth is out there now. That's what Corey's or whichever one it was, Corey or Chris. They're pimping the Gelacanth.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't even know what you're talking about, Wyatt.
Yeah. Learn us. It's another bait from Hide Up. It's It's like
Is that that bonefish looking thing?
Yeah, it's like the belly shad, but made
okay.
out
I
of
do know what you're talking
seafood.
about. Just didn't know what the name of it was.
Yeah.
Do you know the old from Nemo, the fish that had the little tentacle when they go deep into the water type deal, and it's just a skeleton? You know what I'm talking about, Darren?
Yeah.
Slightly. That's an old.
That's what it kind of looks like.
All right.
Just
folks, if you have been persuaded, these are not easy to find right now. However, you can. I bought some generic ones off of Amazon.
Yeah.
I stole some from Wyatt. He gave me like 5, and so.
Hey, Wyatt, when you get some abstracts in, hit your boy up. Let me send you some money.
Wyatt, how much time do you spend like sending gear out to people?
Between you, I say you're the only one that's been getting gear here. Like you got jigs,
wow.
you got jigs, you got Coikes, you got waypoints.
I got friends.
I need to hook up Wyatt because I'm down to 3.
Well, somebody said
we should
Walmart.
be getting them in soon. We should be getting them in pretty soon.
You don't want to fish nervously, right? Like if you only have a couple left, especially if it's you can't just have one. Then you're like, oh, you got to be nice with it. I need to be able to be like, oh, if I break this off, I got another one. We're good.
I got 6 more. We're good to go.
I broke this one off the other day. I got to edit this reel. I broke it off, and literally, and it was a dumb move. I was throwing it under little like willow tree hangover type deals, and I nicked it on the first one. I was like, I should probably retie. It's like, nah, I'm good. It's 18 pound, a Braze X. I'll be all right. Well, then I go to cast and my finger slipped. You know how it kind of slips and then like you lose the spool, and then it hit the water and it broke off. Well, then I was rapido on the Yak Attack net. I couldn't even see the bait anymore. And I grabbed the net and I just stick it in the water, and then I pick it up and I had it. And the excitement that left my body, I was like, this is it. And I don't know when we're getting a restock, but that was my last, of the scupper nog. And literally, so that Yak Attack just paid for itself right there.
There you go, right there. Well, Austin, appreciate you having you on the show. Loved you kind of breaking down the evolution of the urchin bait, the Coike. Wyatt, appreciate you for putting me on my PB last week. And it's just fun just to have a community of guys that, I just surround myself with anglers who are well beyond where I'm at. And it makes me a little better every single time I have you guys on. So appreciate you. Appreciate everyone listening in. We will have a show next week. I don't have a guest. I got a few ideas, but we'll get one on. And we see you next Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. on the Kayak Fishing Obsessed podcast. You guys have a good week.